Today we're going to discuss the top 3 things we see therapists do incorrectly in private practice. My name is Tony Cameron with TLDR Accounting, and we help therapists in private practice solve their tax and accounting problems. So we work with a variety of therapists doing all sorts of various types of therapy, everything from art therapy to talk therapy to teletherapy, all across the board. And if they're new in private practice, we see some common themes come up, and one of the things we wanted to talk about is ways to fix them. So the 3 things we see are just using a practice management system and not keeping track of expenses, being a sole proprietorship in Washington State, and not saving enough for their taxes. So let's start with only using a practice management system. So a lot of our clients, they love practice management systems, things like Simple Practice at Theranest, which keeps track of your income, helps you build insurance, all of those things. So on the income side, it does really, really well keeping track of those. But on the expense side, it's not keeping track of things like rent, how much you're paying for Psychology Today, how much your insurance is, what your office expenses are, and those are things that you should be keeping track of. So super simple, just start keeping track of your expenses in an Excel spreadsheet. It doesn't have to be complicated. Just make sure that you're keeping a running total of those, because by the time year end comes around, you don't want to be scrambling to then have to go through and list out all of these expenses. Next is not saving enough on your taxes. So a lot of times therapists, they know they need to be paying an estimated taxes, but they don't know how much, and they freeze. So general recommendation, just save 20% of your income, toss it into a savings account. You can then pay in your quarterly estimated taxes, just pay it in, and at year end you can reconcile with how much you've paid in versus how much your taxes actually are. After your first year, it's a lot easier because you can base it on how much your taxes were the prior year. The first year it's a little bit more complicated, but it's always better to overpay than underpay. And lastly, the big thing we see is being a sole proprietorship in Washington State. So in Washington State, we recommend that you become a PLLC, which is a professional limited liability corporation. Now, you can be a sole proprietorship, but there are tax advantages to starting off as a PLLC. In the beginning, it doesn't matter so much, but making the change can take some time. And if you're already signed up on insurance panels, or if you already have bank accounts open, those are things that you need to then close and reopen under the PLLC. So from the beginning, we recommend you form a PLLC. The filing fee is only $200. But if you do it from the beginning, then you don't need to worry about it and everything's set up moving forward. So if there's any tax strategies or anything that comes up later down the line as your practice grows, you can do them already as a PLLC. But as a sole proprietorship, we're limited in some of the things we can do with you tax-wise and tax savings. So one of the things we highly, highly recommend is becoming a PLLC. Now, if you are a sole proprietorship and you're like, oh, I didn't know about this PLLC thing, we have a guide. So we provided a link for how to download it. It walks you through each of the steps to becoming a PLLC, along with links to all the locations that you need to file forms and things that you should do. Helps keep you on track. I love checklists, so this is one of those things where you're like, oh, nope, I did that, and I did that, and I did that too. So hopefully you found this helpful. We'll be doing some more videos providing information and resources to therapists in private practice.